The Super Bowl is not just a championship football game. It's also one of the biggest, if not the biggest day for advertising. Top brands paying about $7 million for a 30-second commercial that could be seen by more than 100 million viewers. From the ads pre-released, our next guest's favorites are Uber Eats, Booking.com, and Dove. Joining us right now is Marcus Collins, University of Michigan marketing professor for the culture author as well. Good morning to you. Let's talk about these ads, and let's talk about whether, in the end, it is worth it, Marcus.
Sure. Well, first of all, good morning. Thanks for having me. Of course, it's worth it, depending on how you define worth it. If you think of the Super Bowl as a moment that I'm going to present my ad and it's going to immediately turn into consumption, I think that those chances are quite unlikely. However, if you see the Super Bowl as a media moment where everyone's watching shoulder to shoulder, and I can create a catalyst that gets people talking, that gets my brand and its context in the cultural zeitgeist that govern how people behave, well, that's a win, because we understand the value and the influence of culture and how those things drive consumption.
Talking about culture, and I want to talk about a couple of these ads, but one of the things that's fascinating this particular year is just the onslaught of celebrities that have been hired by these companies to market their wares. It seems like we've squeezed in, packed in more celebrities than ever before. And in truth, celebrities of a particular generation. What do you make of that?
Well, celebrities provide additional media, and they allow us to invest ourselves into a spot, into an ad, because we have some relationship with the celebrity. Not only that, but the celebrity provides context. So if I'm setting up a joke, if I'm setting up a premise, the celebrity puts that premise in a context where the audience can get involved very quickly. I think the idea of having celebrities that are from yesteryear, that are in some ways kind of nostalgic, allows for a bigger door to invite more people to be a part of it, to see themselves in it. I think we use people who are much more recent. They help provide a sense of recency for people who are perhaps more used to understanding the celebrity of an influencer, to see their favorite influencer on screen goes, oh, you get it. You're one of us. And as a result, they feel more connected to the brand.
Okay, so Marcus, let's talk about one of the ads that we've been running while you've been speaking. I don't know if you've been able to see it, is the Uber Eats ad with Jennifer Aniston, David Schwimmer. You got Beckham in there. You got a whole bunch of folks. You like that ad a lot. Why?
I thought it did a really good job of playing on this notion of forgetting, right? If you forget a thing, Uber Eats got you. And it provides context with something that's more recent, i.e. the meme of David Beckham and his wife, something that's a bit more nostalgic, like Friends, and something that is contextual to the game, like Usher. And then having people we don't know to just provide a round sense of what's this ad is trying to communicate and the value proposition that Uber Eats provides. It's funny, I think, it's contextual, and I think it's quite relevant.
Okay, you like Dove. Why do you like Dove?
Because this is Dove doing what it's always done, preaching the gospel. Dove has been a brand that is inconspicuous, but very forthright and very consistent about how it sees the world. Dove believes in providing self-esteem and providing a sense of confidence, especially for women. And here's Dove using this big media moment contextually relative to the game, saying that girls need to feel more confidence so that they stay in sports. This is Dove being consistent in their brand, but also ensuring that their message is aligned with the contextual moment that we're observing, sports.
Marcus, is there any commercial that you haven't seen yet that we don't know about? Is there going to be a surprise ad that might show up this weekend?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, there's a lot of brands who are keeping it close to the vest so that they have a bit of drama, a bit of theater when the big game shows up. Right. Some other brands we see now are using early stage presenting of their ads so they get more media wattage, i.e. we're talking about these brands today. But some brands want to wait until the massive moment that they can splash and get the more bang for their buck, at least with regards to getting our attention.
Marcus, is it going to be a little bit surreal seeing like Travis Kelce in 10 different ads and then they cut back to the game and then he's like catching a pass? I mean, that's never happened. And Patrick. as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be like the Tide ad. It's like the Super Bowl is a massive Tide ad. It's
They're
like
both. They're
everywhere
starring in the Super Bowl, the ads and the Super Bowl.
But there's no ad with Taylor in it, I don't think.
Is she going to make it, Marcus? Have you done the math? You'll get sued if you try and follow her plane. You can't do. I don't know if we can even talk about her being back. She's going to make it.
She's going to be there. Marcus, I want to thank you. By the way, talking about good looks, he's got a good. I don't know if you have good lighting or a good camera setup. What kind of rig you got going on over there? It's set up in a good way.
I want to make sure that I show up, man. This is a big deal. Be with you guys this morning. I want to bring my Sunday best.
Kind of looks like a studio.
So for those directors out there, what did you do? Is that on? That's not on a laptop, is it?
This is on my laptop. I'm using a DSLR camera. I'm in my office at the Ross School of Business, University of Michigan. This is just how I show up in the morning.
Okay, shout out. Nice to see you, sir.